we already saw that physical necessity can't explain it. And everyone's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. It could fail to be this way. So that's not a good explanation. Now, the only two explanations we're left with are chance or design. And we saw that chance is no good explanation because the probability isn't good. If something is, say, above 50% likely, then that's when people are like, okay, this actually could be it. But when it's below 50% likely, that's when theorists start to doubt it. It's like, this isn't probable, so we should probably look for an explanation elsewhere. Now, we saw that it's not just that it's below 50%, but that's unbelievably unlikely. So that's why that explanation fails, and we're only left with design. Now, that's really what the multiverse is. It's a drastic escape of the design hypothesis. Is okay, what can we think of so that we don't have to admit design? Because that's all that we're left with. We saw physical necessity doesn't work and chance doesn't work. What do we do to escape design? And that's really where the multiverse came from. There's no evidence for it, but it's an escape. And with it being something there's no evidence and that we can't even try to find in principle if there are other universes, it's like it just gives them more time to try to think of something else. So again, this isn't really why we should doubt it. Intentions don't make a theory right or wrong, but we saw that there's no evidence for it. And then there are actually many logical issues with it. So where it came from, it's just an escape of the design hypothesis.
Yeah, that's just totally right. People just don't want to admit that it's pretty obvious. Like, I mean, that's kind of undeniable. I've heard it compared to, and it's probably a different example, but like, you're not gonna just say that you walk into the forest and there's a Rolex right there. You're not gonna just be like, oh yeah, that just happened by chance. In a certain universe, that Rolex just appeared there. It's gonna be like, well, of course not. And this idea, we don't want to assume intentions of anybody, but there's a great video by Inspiring Philosophy, and I'm gonna put it in the chat. I'm just trying to find it, and it talks about how there's an innate understanding about that God exists, and that's what the scientific literature shows. And he goes into that, and he says that whenever he debates atheists, they always say that he's being illogical or that he's going like contrary to intuition. But then he cites all these papers that say like actually the intuitive answer is that there is a creator